So we're at PAX Australia today, which, while admittedly is a gaming convention, is also a little bit of a computer convention, in case it wasn't obvious. So I want to go around, show off some of the cool tech, some of the cool things that are displayed at PAX, and show you what some of these companies bring to conventions and stuff like that. We've got things like this is the MSI booth plus Intel. We've got things like they've got liquid coolers, motherboards, RTXs, the full shebang. Let's go around and have a look at some of the systems they've got. MSI's got a lot of cool systems that they're showing off. They've got this white one here, which I really like, RTX in it. It doesn't have the specs, but they've got walls of systems. Got this one here with like a 13th gen i5, 4060, heaps of different systems, and a heap of cool different demonstrations, as well as things like monitors, a lot of really cool stuff. It's also all for sale. Don't know how you'd lug it home from a convention, but it is all for sale. I think they offer shipping, from what I've heard. I believe MSI and Intel mainly only got computers shown off. They've got anything from powerhouses to aesthetic based. The only thing I've noticed is there's not really any budget options. They've also got the stage up the front, in which they've been hosting a few gaming tournaments and shows. Up the top there, they've got some really powerful and amazing systems. No consistent system actually, which if they're taking it seriously and competitively is interesting. They've got even things like low profile builds, as you can see there. They're showing off everything they've got, from aesthetic pleasers to like that white one there. So like different RGBs. We are back here. And of course, there are exhibitors like Aftershock PC here, which is a boutique builder. They've got a lot of really cool PCs. They've got water cooled there. I love the Tetris theming. They've got like a more anime cartoony style there. They've got a bubble tea one a little bit further over with some amazing theming and colors. I love some of the builds that they do. They've even got the Fallout one just there, which that is a PC. That is a water cooled PC. That is really cool. They custom build a lot of their stuff. It's amazing. They've got some stuff for sale. Not even just the custom stuff. Amazing water cooling and whatnot. It all looks great. Yeah. They've got things like racing sims on the go, which has an amazing AMD-based water-cooled PC, and what is clearly a very gonna run cool machine over there.
We've got the 9 fan out here.
That's a lot more fans you probably need, unless you're running like a 9.9. They've got some beautiful PC cases over there, all custom painted and themed, which I believe you can win at this event. They've also got things like, because they're partnered with Samsung for this one, the 990 Pro SSD here that they're showing off. I actually run one of these in my system and I will tell you they are pretty good. Massively fast for Gen 4, but Gen 5 is coming out very soon, and so it will pretty soon be outdated. They also do have a claw machine on the go for some Aftershock merch, but there's also quite a line for that. Vending machine. Yep. Okay, cool. Also, earlier in the day, the Aftershock PC booth did a really cool demonstration of liquid nitrogen overclocking, where they managed to get an Intel i9 13th gen up to about 7.3 gigahertz. And there was a bunch of really cool demonstrations like that at PAX. I also got to ask a few questions of them afterwards.
Zach is getting interviewed. And learning the exact configuration of your CPU.
Because he's not giving me his
camera. They're called Dual, essentially it's a gigantic thermos. And they're not cheap to get hold of. The dry ice you can go pick up with your Esky, and that runs at minus 78 degrees. So it's still 100 degrees.
And of course we've got ROG, who is a massive exhibitor and is a sponsor of PAX, I believe, as they're on the lanyards after all that are given out. They've got a lot of very cool stuff on the go here. They've got the ROG Ally, which they've been showing off, and they've got some demos of over there for people who want to play it. They've got a few systems on the go. They've got some amazing notebooks on the go from ROG Strix, which look and feel great. They're showing off some very cool systems, and I like that they've actually got some like information on like the actual laptops, like the cooling, the liquid metal. They've actually got some half decent information. Very laggy. Damn it. A few more Mosing notebooks, some sort of claw machine again. The claw machine seemed really popular. I would say not really any desktops from ROG this time. I expected a few more desktops from ROG, opposed to just laptops and portable. But ROG as of recently seems to be moving up to a lot more of a portable systems than they have been desktops, and has been a lot more common recently. ROG, their desktops have really taken a step back, and things like the ROG Ally and their laptops have been what they've been really pushing recently, which I think is very interesting. It's going to say a lot about their future in the industry. Of course, there's brands like Audio Technica. I don't know who's blasting the music. I think it's Red Bull. But we've got brands like Audio Technica, who've got really good microphones on display. A few half-decent budget options, like the AT2020 USB Plus. A few half-decent budget options, some headphones. They've got a few more advanced things like the Studio Pad over there. So I'm very impressed with how much budget stuff they've got on display. They've got some things like headphones over there and some like podcasts going, as well as just their store over there, but they don't have a whole lot of a display. They do let you try on things like headphones and stuff, but they don't let you hear what they actually sound like, I don't think. Yeah, it's not plugged into anything. Can't actually test it. I didn't actually realize this Audio Technica even has like live podcasts going on. That is really cool. I'm very impressed with Audio Technica actually. We've next got Deep Cool, which I'm actually pretty impressed with what they've come with to show. But of course there's the main thing being the PC, which they have tacked it out with airflow across the side, the front. They've also got all the information and buying information at the top, including specs. LGA 1700, so 13th and 12th gen, Core i9 1300KF with an air tower cooler. The only deep cool aspects, I believe, are the case, the cooler, and the PSU, which makes sense. That's the only real parts that they sell. But overall, very impressive. They've got that PC on the go. They've got a few others out and about. And of course, mounted to the table itself, they've got a lot of like coolers and stuff. Very impressive showing. I like the temp gauges on the top. Temp gauges on the top are very impressive. Stock cooler in that machine, which is interesting. It's an Intel stock cooler. Showing off a few of their AIOs and stuff, which are always very pretty. They're very good at what they do, which is cooling. It's what they specialize in.
There's a lot of flow from these. You can feel it as you're touching it.
Yeah. It's what they know they're good at. Deep Cool is very good at cooling, and they don't try and be something else.
And then there's this behemoth.
But I do like their case. I'm pretty sure this is Deep Cool. This case, it's ginormous. I actually think it's really cool. Graphics card goes there, motherboard in there, power supply in there, cooling in there. It's really cool. Then of course we've got Prism Plus, who is a smaller company relatively, but is Australia's leading display brand. They work with a lot of different brands, I believe, but Prism Plus, they've got anything from TVs here. They've even got chairs that they sell. They've got displays running along here. Got a Mario Kart thing going. And of course, have some gaming monitors across the side, including a Aftershock PC powering some of them, which I think is really cool that some of the exhibitors are coming together and actually working together. But they've got some amazing little displays, even small displays across there. They've got some amazing tech on display. We've of course got some Corsair monitors on the go from the Corsair booth. Very impressive. We've got some keyboards. The keyboards feel very nice. I like the keyboards. We've got some beautiful Corsair Dominator RAM, an AIO, fans, I believe a case. Yes.
Corsair 3000 DY.
The only parts one very impressive thing about Corsair, the only parts in this computer that aren't by Corsair are the motherboard, the graphics card, and the CPU. They make a lot of different PC parts. And I think that's very impressive. It's a very impressive build again. Everyone's showing off their best. They've got Intel 13th gen i7s and i9s and RTX 40 series.
There is also the water cooling stuff over here.
We've got the water cooling stuff.
See, this is my kind of build.
Very impressive build. Low profile graphics card, which is interesting.
Again, everything's Corsair except for the motherboard, graphics, and CPU.
Very pretty build.
Also have their headphones on display.
Yes, Corsair makes one of everything. I am honestly curious as to whether a full Corsair setup would be possible, and I think it would be, except for, well, a few of the computer parts, which I think is very impressive to show off. They've also got, this booth is also Scorptech. They've got a few Scorptech things around, but that's kind of taken a back seat. But,
as anyone would for Corsair.
Of course. But they've also got a few Nano Leaf things around the corner, which I think is working with Corsair. Some like design, some like very pretty things like the Nano Leafs, and that are built for your walls and stuff like that, which they look great if you do them well. One of these stores, which is X Rocker, which I haven't even really heard of, Bluemouth Interactive, has its RGB gamer room. It's got the computer over there with a really funky mouse actually. RGB bed, RGB everything. This is just the RGB den. We've got a few stalls like this one, which are just giving off things like accessories and stuff. and aren't really major brands that I've really heard of before. They've got things like phone accessories to allow them to stream to your PlayStation, or things like chairs. And showing a few things like 8-Bit Do, which is a good brand, but it seems like a culmination of a lot of different tech stores.
We got the limited edition sneakers.
The shoe case.
The shoe.
Corsair has, not Corsair, Cooler Master has got some very cool things. Like they've got the Orbo gaming chair, which personally I've never really understood, but they seem popular. Very expensive though. Cooler Master's a company that I actually have a lot of their stuff in my build, and so I'm very excited to see them exhibiting. They've got a few very powerful gaming PCs and very RGB gaming PCs in there. And of course they're just selling their parts like the others. They've got some tower coolers, they've got some fans going.
The shoe case.
Yeah. They've got the shoe cases, some other cases.
They've got some of their hardware on display.
What was that?
Some hardware on display with accessories.
Yes, they've got some cool cases, power supplies, including SFX. They've also got some very cool theme builds in here. They've got some very cool, like, AIOs, power supplies. This is all Street Fighter based, including some very cool Street Fighter cases and machines overall. Cooler Master has been working with Street Fighter for a bit of a collaboration. They've got some of their keyboards on display, of course, which I believe Cooler Master works a lot with Gigabyte, which is shown there because they've got Aorus on the go as well. As a lot of the computer parts that aren't Cooler Master will be Gigabyte and Aorus probably. Though Aorus also was sponsoring Aftershock PCs, which I don't know if I remember to mention. So a lot of the stuff, while they don't have an exhibit, while they don't have a stall, a lot of other companies like Aorus still have their own presence in the convention today.
We got the shoe case on display.
We found the shoe case in the end.
Why does it have suspension?
Is it in case you wear it by accident? You never know. We've got a second MSI booth that seems like it's working with Senecon. That seems like it's more playing and tournaments than it's actually selling products. That seems like the other MSI booth. But they've got things like the MSI Dragon over there. And it seems like it's more so for photo shoots and photo opportunities than it is for selling products. They've got things like the stage, and they do have a few products on display over there. So I don't know why MSI got two, but I'm not going to complain. And of course we've got Ultra Gear, which while they don't really build PC parts per se, they do have things like a lot of accessories, like things like monitors, for example. That's what they're mainly known for. They work with the LG. They're allowing people to play the new game Starfield on their monitors. They've got a few on display here, a few up there. They've got a few different on display, and around the corner they let you use a few. But Ultra Gear's showing off their panels, of course. And while not necessarily tech, there's a very good showing from Nintendo with things like their consoles. They've got a really big booth because of their new Mario game, which I believe is called Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yes, over there, where we've got some very cool new things, and I think there is a demo for it at this convention, which is very exciting. But Nintendo has got a lot of merchandise up for sale, and a lot of different consoles, like they've got their OLED system in the glass over there, and they're just a lot of opportunities to play and use their consoles and games. There's of course things like the Power A, which is a very cool company. They've got things like their cables, their controllers, whatnot, their accessories. Power A makes a lot of accessories for consoles, opposed to necessarily games or whatnot themselves, as they've got their controllers on display that are able to be used with Nintendo games going, as Nintendo's probably their main market, and they've just got a lot of controllers as well as their headphones on sale and on show. They've got a very impressive showing by PowerA. Of course, there's always PAX Rising, which a lot of indie developers come in and show off their games. But of course, PAX doesn't really supply a computer for indie developers. They've got to set it all up themselves. So there are some that come in with quite powerful computers, some that'll come in with nothing but a laptop. Like, for example, there's a gaming laptop there and there, as well as a desktop. There are a few games that are using very limited hardware and running on very basic laptops, which does show off what they can run on. There's some far more impressive builds, of course, around. But there are a few running on something as simple as an iPad. It's impressive that some of these indie developers, which may not have made a whole lot of profit and are here to show off their game for one of the first times, are able to bring such cool tech. And some of the notebooks and stuff that are being used, like these two stalls here, some of the notebooks and whatnot that are being used, it shows that if you want to do, like, exhibit your games or make games, you don't need massively high-end hardware. Sure, it might help, but most of the things you can do with high-end hardware, you can do with low-end hardware. Admittedly, it might be more effort and harder, but it's doable. Of course, there's XP Pen, which not necessarily conventional tech, but they're showing off a lot of drawing tablets and whatnot. They've got it on laptops, which they don't make. They do not produce laptops, but they've got a lot of different options for drawing tablets. And as someone who has an XP Pen drawing tablet, I've got the Artist 12. It's a very good It's a very good drawing tablet company. And again, you can try out a bunch of different ones. Of course, something like a drawing tablet not going to be cheap, but that applies to a lot of these stalls. I feel like a lot of these stalls are more showing off their name more than selling their product, as a lot of people don't come to these cons with enough money for full PCs or wanting to buy a drawing tablet while they're here. Some people might impulse buy it, but I feel like a lot of it's just to get their name out. Of course, we've got the Yamaha musical equipment that we've got, as well as they've got things like microphones and headphones on the go. A lot of Yamaha, what don't they make? We saw motorbikes by Yamaha earlier.
They make a bit of everything.
A little bit. But they've got
to see someone on the drums, getting as many hits as possible.
Yeah. Yamaha equipment, hearing about like electronic equipment and whatnot. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind giving it a go.
I got into the 200s. I'm happy with that.
Oh my god.
They put a PC in a guitar. They do have PCs. And then of course we've got AMD, PC Tech and Keychron, who all have a shared stall. There's a lot of keyboard-based stuff in here because, well, Keychron and BPC Tech. There's a bunch of keys and switches over there. They've got the examples of all the different switches and whatnot you can get, as well as a cool. They've also got a BPC Tech Kraken Power Noctua-based PC, which has the Asus X Noctua crossover card, which was released a little while ago. What's it called? Noctua fans, which I'll admit, they're not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of the color, but I can see why people would like it. Noctua does make great fans. There's of course things like the Keychron keyboards, which they've got a lot of great mechanical keyboards on the go. And they've got the key tester, of course, test all the different keys. They've got some different PCs on the go, which I assume, yes, most of the PCs are running AMD, because this is a stall with AMD, of course, but they're taking a smaller part in it. There is also, of course, more keyboards, a bunch of stuff you can buy. A lot of very themed keyboards, like they've got this one here, which is very pretty. Mechanical keyboards can be so pretty if done right, as well as some of the PCs they've got on the go. A lot of the PC stuff here is BPC Tech, and the keyboards are Keychron. It's a lot of great systems on show here, and they've even got some like audio equipment over the back. This one's by Ubank for some reason. The Cheats Arcade, which has a bunch of really old CRTs, original PlayStations, Dreamcasts, and a lot of older tech in that one apparently, because any sort of tech's being shown off here, apparently. And then of course there's Allied with AMD, I believe, with a powerful water-cooled machines, Allied monitors, keyboards, mice. Allied's one of those companies that kind of make a little bit of everything. If you need it, you can probably find it by Allied. They don't specialize in anything, which means they're not the best at anything, but they're pretty good at everything. They've got some powerful water-cooled machines, some smaller machines, of course some like more powerful machines, including a Starfield-based machine, which is the new game. Things like the mouse, which is the Allied Flashbang, which I've actually tried and I've daily run on this mouse before, and it's pretty good. Or a very similar one. They've got some very powerful PCs and beautiful with Diablo, Playside, some wonderful theming. Yeah, a lot of very pretty and amazing PCs on display by them, including laptops. Not many people know they actually make laptops. They make
we got the curvy monitor.
Yeah, they've got curved monitors. They don't specialize in anything, and they're not the best at anything, but they do a little bit of everything. They've even made things like Starfield-based graphics cards, like is shown here actually, and is in the machine. Overall, a very impressive showing by Allied, who I think is also powering a lot of things. Like, I think they're also powering the PAX Arena, which has a lot of tournaments and stuff going on, but I'm not entirely confident about that. And then, of course, conventions like PAX allow you to use a lot of older tech and cool tech. Like, for example, there's a classic gaming section over here, which has anything from NES to Sega to original PlayStation and Dreamcast. Even Atari is in there. They've got a lot of very cool old pieces of tech. And of course, just over the other side, we've got a stark contrast with free play in VR, with of course booths for free play in VR, where you can tinker with VR, learn about it, and see it, and get to experience it. You get to experience VR, test it out, and try it. And allows people to try new things and try all this really cool tech that's available to people nowadays. Then of course we've also got the console free play. We've got a lot of PS5s on the go. I believe there's Xbox somewhere, but we've got a lot of different consoles that you can use. Once again, it allows people to try them out, test them, and just enjoy games with people around, play games, meet new people. It's a great opportunity. Here we go.
Pikachu's on the PCs, boys.
Yeah. And then pretty much same concept. PCs all over the joint, all powered by Intel, showing off that, well, allowing people to try different games and try PC gaming. I think it's a really cool thing that PAX does and is organised. And overall, I think that the tech showing at PAX this year has been really great and really impressive, actually. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you did, please like and subscribe. Helps out a ton. I picked up some pretty cool stuff and saw some pretty cool stuff there. I picked up some nice keyboard switches, 2 sets of 110, a new 4060 by Asus. I also got this headset hanger for completely free, as well as an ROG thing that apparently goes into an ROG logo, and an ROG fan, lots of ROG. I also got a free bag from Deepcool. But I hope you enjoyed. If you've gone to a computer convention, comment what some of the coolest things you've seen are, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.